It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids trick-or-treating and everyone telling you their greatest fear. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the scary season of love, with those foreboding knockings and scary ghost meetings when ghouls start to come. It's the scary season of love. There'll be graveyards for haunting and pumpkins for carving. We're chilling you down to the bone. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales oh so glory of Hallows Eve long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be costume deciding and you will be screaming when monsters are near. It's the most wonderful time of the
My terrible stinging aside, it's spooky month, my little monsters, and what's a better way to celebrate than sharing some spooky stories, or in this case, some childhood dramas. For those of you that may not know, I am a wuss. I am very squeamish. I do not do well when it comes to creepy crawlies and ghastly ghouls. As a kid, even less so. I am still scared of the dark, even as an adult. Do not judge me, or I will visit you and... I don't know, release a spider in your house or something. Anyway, here are my top 13, because 13 is spooky, things that scared me as a kid. Let's start small. This fucking thing. Dear God, this movie scared me as a kid. It had everything I feared at the time. Zombies, ghosts, voodoos, furries, it had it all. Plus, look at these things. They're terrifying. When I got older, I even noticed that some had more modern clothing, which made it worse.
Zombies can wear Crocs!
Not only that, but at the time, at least, it was the first time the Scooby-Doo gang seemed to be in actual danger. And when you're a kid, you don't think, oh, they'll be fine. You're not experienced. You don't know shit. This genuinely seems like they'll bite the dust, and that made it worse. Fun fact, I have read The Hobbit, I have watched the Hobbit trilogy, but I have never finished the OG Lord of the Rings. This scene is why. My dad made me watch the series with him when I was like 6 or 7. He made sure to get me into all the good nerd stuff. Sure, I covered my eyes a lot and asked a lot of annoying questions. I could not figure out who the fuck was Frodo and who the fuck was Bilbo. I kept asking him which one is Frodo, which one is Bilbo, what was their relation. It was very, very annoying. But I got the general gist of the story. But I could not get past this scene. It is the last thing I remember seeing of the movie. I kid you not, I covered my eyes with a blanket and eventually fell asleep. I have had 3 nightmares about giant spiders since, thanks to this shit. Thanks, Dad. Fuck this episode. Now, I could have picked anything. The final episode, the zombie episode, the windmill episode, but no! I chose this one. This one just gave me goosebumps every time. Nowadays, we look at it and laugh at the CGI, but the voice.
Return the slab.
You can't. You just can't. It was even worse, because when I was a kid, I had a window in my room and the blinds were a little shoddy, so my brain kept thinking I could see him through the gaps. That was fun. For those of you that don't know, The Tingler was a horror movie from the old days that my pappy and I happened to catch while he was channel surfing. The Tingler is about a bug that lives on your spine that dies when you scream for the first time. Some dude wants to prove it's real, so he scares his mute wife to death so he doesn't accidentally kill it by doing it, you know, the old-fashioned way. Not only is the idea of a big bug living in your body terrifying, but this scene just scared the shit out of me.
Was there any sign of a struggle?
No, there was nothing. She was just lying on the bathroom floor.
There wasn't anything unusual about the room at all?
No, just the way it always is.
From her expression, something must have terrified her just before she died. You haven't any idea what it was?
No, everything was locked. There was no sign of anyone having been in there. My God, she's alive.
She's not alive, Ollie.
I don't know how many people read this book, but fuck this book and fuck this series. Actually, read it. It's really good. Now, I only read the second because I found it in the library when I was in 6th grade, and I couldn't find the first book and thought, why not? I like my stuff good. Mice make cute cups out of thimbles, but no! This book is just a plethora of death. Death by hanging from cursed scarecrow thing. Death by owl leading to Jurassic Park 3-esque scene by father of victim. Death by burning. It's nothing but death. Just death. Everywhere. Pretty much half the characters fucking die. So a bit of backstory. I have never watched all the Twilight movies because as a kid I hated them. I just found romance stuff to be pretty boring, and that's kind of the whole series. It's just a girl going back and forth between two dudes even though she very clearly likes one dude from what I've heard and from what little I've seen. Maybe I'll make a video reacting to them for the first time. Yay. However, I did watch one of them. I think it was Eclipse, which was the one that she gives birth in. I have no fucking clue. I'll put it in the video. The only reason why I watched this one is because I had a friend that absolutely loved these movies, and my grandpa happened to work there. Something I was allowed to do was A, watch movies for free, and B, bring a friend to the balcony, aka the best possible seats, especially if you're short. She begged me to take her to this movie. I just made jokes the whole time because I was bored. Even though I had plenty of fun doing my little stand-up routine while the movie was playing, we got to the birth scene, and God. As someone who wants to be a parent, pregnancy terrifies me now because of this. I know that it's not like this. I know that this is a highly exaggerated scene, and there's like a ton of non-existent variables that were a part of why this birth was so terrifying. But as a 12-year-old, I'm horrified. Also, terrifying CGI baby. As much as I absolutely love this film as an adult, go see Fuchsia Butters' video, I show up in like the last couple minutes. I was terrified of it as a kid, to the point where my dad actually thought I hated this movie for a long time. The ghost kids are why. The way their faces are frozen, the tall one especially, the way they sound, the fact that they're dead. As a kid, you think you're invincible. Not necessarily me, because I kind of understood the concept of death when I was like 5? All because of a frog. But that's a story for another day. But as a kid, for the most part, you think you're invincible. Death is not a variable that exists. So the few times you see kids in media die, it's like, what the fuck? I thought I'd live forever. So fun fact, I did dance club for 3 years. A group of kids would audition and be picked to be in the dance club, where we got to dress up and dance in front of the school. It was always really fun. A lot of kids, including myself, loved when we got to do Thriller around Halloween because that was always the performance where we got the most flexibility in our choice of costumes. My favorite was when we grabbed my old princess costume and tore it up while dumping dirt and fake blood on it. Before we started our first practice though, the teacher would make us watch the original Thriller music video, and I have always been squeamish when it comes to horror. Zombies especially. This fucking guy didn't help. Opening his fucking mouth like he just got his wisdom teeth removed. Still love the dancing though. I used to despise Harry Potter. I hated pretty much anything that scared me, and every Halloween on ABC Family they would play Chamber of Secrets. Something about seeing so many kids your age nearly die will do that to you. Finding out that one actually did die will make it worse. I remember this final message from Todd would always scare the shit out of me. It still makes me jump a little even now. It's weirdly become not only my favorite movie in the franchise, but Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling aside, became one of my favorite franchises since I started reading the books in 6th grade. So, my first Pokemon game was Red, not Fire Red, Red for the Game Boy Color. For 15 minutes. Then I switched to Blue because I wanted Squirtle, and I thought you had to pick the Pokemon in correlation with the cartridge. So I'm like 6, right? Playing my Game Boy. I got through the hell that is the mountain between Cerulean City and this supposed New Lavender town. I get out, get my ass kicked a little more due to some douche standing outside of the cave. The on-the-road music fades out. And then this fades in. They updated it in newer games, but none of them would compare to the original. I swear, every time I came back to Lavender Town as a kid, I would turn down the music until I left. It just made me so unbelievably uncomfortable. This little girl didn't help. The story with Cubone didn't help. None of it helped. Nothing made it better. Absolutely nothing. Look at these fucking things. You've got an inbred Gonzo, the love child of Yoda and Link, and me attempting to wake up on a Saturday. As much as I undeniably love this movie, it scared the crap out of me. Especially when one of these things fucking died. Also, the fact that this is out there somewhere in someone's storage haunts me in the back of my mind. Do I even have to explain this one? It's one of the most famous horror movies ever. My dad made me watch it when I was like 7 because he wanted me to expand the genres I watch. I just want to watch my backyardigans, man. I don't need this. The Dark Crystal wasn't enough. The Last Unicorn wasn't enough. No, we had to watch Alien. Brilliant. Honorable mentions. Jeepers Creepers, Where is Peepers? The scenes of Peepers being tortured haunt my dreams. Dragon Quest VIII, White Priest. You had to go through a massive maze of death to get to him. Enough said. Powerpuff Girls, Speed Demon. Fucking look at it! My dad got me into Doctor Who when I was very young. My favorite Doctor is David Tennant, with my favorite companion being Donna. And this show had all my fears. This show actually may be the spawn of all my fears. Dying in space, dying by creatures, losing my autonomy, losing my body, being eaten alive, being lost in space, being lost in time, dying in general. These fucking guys. It had it all. Every horrible thing. As much as I was scared of the Daleks, Cybermen, and Weeping Angels, fuck those guys. One episode in particular was the worst. Silence in the Library, a place where piranha-like creatures lived in the dark and consumed any living thing that entered the shadows. You can't see them. They only appear as a shadow. At one point, they even gained the ability to basically use a dude's corpse to further spread. It also made me think my favorite character died, which I hated.
Donna Noble! There's a Donna Noble somewhere in this library. Do you have the software to locate her position?
Donna Noble has left the library. Donna Noble has been saved.
I remember as a kid, this made me particularly afraid of the dark. For example, my dad taught me to turn the lights off when I leave a room. So I would just be standing outside the bathroom trying to figure out how to turn the light off without putting my hand into the dark. My dad walked by while I was doing it and just gave me a look. You cannot blame me, though! This two-parter basically gave me all my fears, all in one horrifying package. I hope you enjoyed this list and your Halloween. Stay safe and stay tuned for more videos in the future, and I will see you all when I see you. Maybe even sooner than you think. Don't turn around. It's me.